The instigators.
Today's guest is Adam, or Adlawd.
People don't know who that is.
I'm getting there! Fuck
Who's
me
that,
dead.
Josh?
Me? Are you kidding?
Oh, God. Fuck. I don't even... How do I even say your last name? Lador? There you go. Adam Lador.
You're fucking capping, bro. Are you serious?
What?
You don't know how to say my last name?
When have I ever had... My last name's Michael, cunt. You can't fuck that up. I'm not looking at other people's last names on Facebook going, I might Google how to pronounce that. I don't care. I got no reason to say your last name.
Your name's Michael?
What's my rego?
Adlawd.
Yeah. Well, no, that's my handle. But what's my and then what's my
Lord.
Yeah. So why would you call me Lador?
Oh, I don't know. I can't
It's
read.
Lordor.
Lordor. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, like Lordor, Mordor. The One Ring.
Okay, your virginity is reeking in the chat right now.
Fucking hell.
Anyway, so we've got Adam here. Adam is, I don't know, are you second or third on our list of cars that suck in Australia at the moment with the RX-7?
Cars that suck. I thought I was like towards the top, mate, and then I got bumped off by some
Yeah,
janky
but
ass.
the higher the car, the shitter it is.
Oh, is that? It's fucking golf scoring.
That's how it
isn't
works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Daniel Creighton will be happy then.
Yeah, so we've got Adam on the podcast today. He's a very long friend of mine. Darius looks up to him like Bear Grylls, like an idol.
Really? Didn't know. That's kind of sweet.
And
He did say that last week, didn't he? He literally said,
Yeah, he said,
I can't
Adam-
wait to have Adlawd on.
yeah, I'm so inspired by
yeah,
how much
yeah,
milk
yeah.
he drinks.
Yeah, I heard that.
Just sitting here with my cup of milk. I was kind of hoping Caleb was going to watch me drink it.
Right,
No.
I do have a quick question right off the bat.
Yeah.
So, is it like low fat or is it full cream or high
Full
calcium, high
fat, bro. Have
protein,
you
soy,
seen me?
light skim, omega 3,
Does it
high
look like
calcium,
a-
vitamin D, and folate or extra dollar?
Does it look like I drink skim milk, bro?
Have you met in person, Cody and Adam? I don't think you have.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Oh.
once.
People come up to me all the time, and I just,
Oh,
No,
okay.
Cody just said they had.
Sydney for some reason, and I went out to dinner with you, Josh. I
Oh
think,
yeah,
and,
yeah. That was when I got my.
And a bunch of people I had no idea who they were there,
Who you were.
and Adam was one of them.
Was that at Churchill?
Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't at church. It was like a fucking RSL. I think we went to go to church
Was
there
that
and then
Frango's
something
Oh,
was
don't
back.
lie.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Those are good times, man.
Yeah, that was a good time. Not that you'd fucking remember, but yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
No,
Alright.
so yes. I'm Adlawd.
You are Adlawd. Darius, you read the questions because I am currently playing Forza and I can't open Instagram to.
So you take this really seriously then?
Oh yeah.
Josh
yeah.
is
Well,
also
what
the
are you
one that-
doing right now? Staring at a fucking wall, thinking really hard about the questions.
Right,
you
I'm
haven't asked
reading
me
these
yet.
questions, and I'm going to answer them to my fullest potential.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe you read the question out to
It needs-
yourself and answer it, and we'll just sit here.
Cool, I'm
And
so
listen.
glad I'm on this
Like it's a
podcast to talk
fucking
to myself, bro.
autobiography.
We'll just sit here in awe.
Fucking hell.
Like for the people that don't know you, what was your first car and stuff like that?
Well, yeah,
Tell
we'll
us
go
your
back.
story from birth
What's
to
the Adam
current life.
story?
All right. Well, starting with the name, obviously Adlawd is just a contraction of my actual name because I've got a long ass name, which is Adam Lord Annesley. So yeah, Adlawd just kind of became like my online moniker because it was just easier to say. But then I guess going into the car question, my first car was actually an MR2. The turbo laws that came in, like they came into effect, I think the day before I got my Ps or something like that. I was all geared up to buy, I think I wanted like an S15 or something like that. But then, yeah, the original laws that came into place in Sydney around P-platers and turbo cars.
Also, just to get the chronological order right, Adam is what's the word? Old. So the laws were very different back then because they've
Thanks,
changed
bro.
since.
Well, I was about to say that. Okay, you cut me off, all right? Fuck.
All right, go.
So that law came in, and when they first initiated that law, you couldn't have any turbo car. It didn't matter what it was. So like, it was ridiculous. I remember everyone was up in arms about it because like you couldn't even drive like a slow ass turbo, diesel truck basically. So my plans kind of got dashed, and I was really wanting to buy like a Silvia or something like that because back then they were about $4.50 plus GST. So
I could not see you in a Sylvia.
yeah, well, I mean that's kind of what I wanted. But then I had to change tack because that law came in. Literally, they passed it a couple of days before I got my license, which didn't matter anyway because I failed the first time. Because that happens, I guess. And
Yeah.
yeah, sucks, but whatever. And then I was just sort of looking around, and I don't know why, but I ended up settling on an MR2. I think
Because
they
the
were
roof
just.
came off, and you look like Ziz back then. So
I did look like Ziz back then. Look, it was a good time. It was a good time to come up, man. Like House Electro was in, big hair, fluoro, Ray-Bans.
Ray-Bans.
Yeah, man, it was good. Life was good, man. There was nothing to worry about. So I bought the MR2, and honestly, like it was a great car. I had a lot of fun with it. I've put a couple of photos in that folder for you to have a look at. When I first bought it, it was actually quite a nice grey colour. I should have just left it the fuck alone, but
you made it a dog.
no, it was sex spec, man. The sex spec was in.
Hell yeah.
I have a look at it. Can you see that?
Oh my
I don't know. If you
god,
open up-
bro.
Yeah, bro.
I'm not
It was so good, dude. Like sex spec was the rage, right?
That body kit.
Yeah, man, dude, that's molded, bro. Like that is
Yeah,
Wait, what
that's
fucking photo am I looking at?
You go
at the
into
blue
the
one.
car. Yeah, the blue one. So
Holy fuck!
that's what it looked like when it was grey, and then
Kid
you can
Low,
see,
holy fucking-
yeah.
Damn, I
You'd be
see where
proud,
Darius
dude.
gets his inspo from. Fuck me dead.
I mean, yeah, and then there's another photo there at night time you can have a look at as well. Yeah, so my first car was an MR2, super fun, like mid-engine, made it relatively noisy, just the basic mods and stuff to begin with, but then, man, it spiraled. I don't even know what happened. Hey, like, 1 minute was grey, the next minute was bright fucking blue, so...
How much did a respray cost back in 1984?
Well, yeah, that's interesting. So,
Couple pence.
I came up with, Fast and Furious was like my inspiration at the time, and the car scene in Australia was booming. Like, it has been for a long time, but back then it was like quite varied. You still had like JDM and all that kind of stuff, but Sex Spec was massive. Like Auto Salon, all that kind of stuff was in. Chrome, rubber band tires, bright garish colors, all that kind of stuff was in. So at the time, like, this was perfectly acceptable, even though now, I don't know, Jake might have okay buy. It's okay by blue, basically. Like,
Yeah.
so back then,
No, you go. Sorry.
I was going to say, back then, not a lot of places were doing this kind of stuff. There was really, like, no one was really modifying cars. So, like, Queen
So
Street
you're
and
a
Tucson
bit of a trendsetter, you're saying. You set the MR2 game up.
Well, I mean, I probably for the MR2, yeah. I mean, a lot of old people, like old dudes, were driving MR2s. It wasn't really like, I don't know, wasn't a lot of young people actually when I got into that. But yeah. So the MR2, poor man's Ferrari. Yeah, Queen Street was who actually sprayed it, and
wow.
back then, yeah, I think it cost me like $6,000 or something like that, $7,000 or something. Yeah, but like, it's quite interesting because like my experience with cars kind of really began with the MR2, and I got straight into modifying it. Like I didn't really know shit about cars. It was all mostly aesthetics and a couple of bolt-ons and stuff, and I was really just modeling off.
That's
True.
all of our cars.
Yeah,
Well,
literally.
Honestly, tell us from today's like car scene, what's the
Yeah.
difference between stance and Sex Spec? That the wheels don't go above probably 18s, and the interiors don't turn into cream. And everything else is the fucking same.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was probably a bit more garish. I mean, in terms of like colors and finishes and stuff like that.
Everybody
but
just wanted to like be
as loud as
visually
possible. Yeah, definitely.
I bought my Lancer, like right as Sex Spec was like dying out. I think.
Oh yeah.
And I had I was so pov back then, but I had all these parts that I wanted like from online and shit bookmarked on my computer, and it would literally look like it. It looks very similar to the MR2 in the way of like the big kit, colors and all that. And that's how I wanted to build it back then when I got my very first car.
Yeah. Well, I mean, looking at my MR2, apart from the wheels, like the rest of the kit and stuff that I chose back then wasn't too bad. Like I did, even back then I went for a wingless look. I guess it's something I've always liked. But if you maybe change the color and then change the fitment, you could probably get it to fit in today's sort of standards, I suppose. With the aero, I suppose it wasn't too over the top. I guess the color made it look quite over the top.
I don't know, bro. It's pretty fucking ugly.
Yeah. Fuck off, dude. What do you mean, bro? It's sexy. I mean, back then, anyway. But it was. I think it was like I think I chose like a Lamborghini blue with a gold pearl.
You
or
even
had
the blue rimps on the dog,
bro. Color matched Koenigs. That shit was fresh off the press back then.
That shit was fresh off the fucking crack pipe. That shit boogers.
What do you mean? That was so sick back then, dude. You just don't get it, bro. It's okay if you don't get it. It's okay if you don't get it, bro. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. I had heaps of fun with that. And I don't even know what made me want to jump from that into the RX-7, but yeah.
I was going to say, what was before we move past the MR2, what's the story with the chick tanning on the bonnet? Or is that your current wife?
No.
She's not going to be
hopefully she doesn't listen to
podcast?
this, bro. She said she would, but hopefully she doesn't. No. Anyway, that was... Can you cut this out?
Yeah, I got you.
No. I just threw it in there because I was like, just because Josh thinks I'm a fucking boomer or whatever, I was like, man, if I had Instagram and clout back then, look at the
look at all the bitches.
Exactly, bro. Like,
he had IRL bitches.
Yeah, I threw it in there.
Contact, that shit crazy.
I just threw it in there for good measure, to make sure that he knew that I could pull. He probably just thinks I'm old and crusty.
Nah. I know you're a handsome man now, Adam. I'm sure you used to pull back in the day.
Back then, people would have been like, "What's a MySpace?"
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, I mean,
definitely never had MySpace.
That's part of the story, I guess. So yeah, anyway, the MR2 was fun. It was a great car. I had a lot of fun with it. It started to teach me, about modifying cars and patience and all that kind of shit. So, yeah, I had a good time with it. But I ended up selling it to one of my mates, actually. And I'd see it around every now and then.
Do you know where it is now?
Well, he sold it to some kid in Queensland, and then we never saw it again.
Of course it goes to Queensland, bro. All the spec cars go to Queensland or Canberra, and they stay the fucking same, because they go, this shit's fire, and it's just because Queensland only just got, the internet, 2 fucking years ago, and they haven't gone through this whole phase of figuring out what's fucking ugly.
Now you bring it up, I swear I saw this at a downshift meet the other week.
I honestly would not be fucking surprised. Queensland and Canberra, all the sex spec cars end up there.
They just got these wrecking yards full of sex spec cars.
No, you just got some dude's garage fucking full.
Yeah. Anyway,
Uncle Lopez.
Yeah, and then after that, I don't really remember exactly what the catalyst was for getting into the RX-7. I just knew that I wanted one, and I started doing the research into it.
How old were you when you got the RX-7?
Yeah, so it was 2013 when I bought the RX-7.
I was 13. I didn't even have pubes at that point, or know what a car was.
You were just
were they cheap back then?
Yeah, and it really, it hurts a bit. I paid $26,000 for my RX-7.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
So,
and that's the photo of it there, right? The first
that
one.
is it on the day that I picked it up.
Damn, stock as a rock.
BFT 64L.
Damn, that's a proper build, guys. None of this fucking coilovers and broken heart stickers and call it a day.
100%, man. That thing was stock as a rock and not even working properly.
Should have kept it like that, bro. It looks terrible.
Probably be worth a bit more. I don't know. I would have made more money on it, that's for sure.
Nah, who cares?
Yeah, so it's a stock Type R Bathurst R. Oh, sorry,
Bathurst.
stock Type R Bathurst, not a Bathurst R. But yeah, and it wasn't really working properly, and I didn't even realize, man. I didn't know shit, right? So I didn't even buy the RX-7 because I liked the rotor or anything. I just loved the way they looked. So
yeah.
I had some really big influences when it came to that. A guy up the street had one, and I just saw it, and I just thought, this thing is absolutely insane. And I think it was just kind of stock looking with wheels, but it sounded crazy, just looked amazing on the road. Like an RX-7 on the road moving, beautiful, just crazy. And then and to see that when you were 16 or 17, it really has an impact on you. And you're seeing it frequently in my area. And then I saw this guy Chester, and he had an RX-7 called D Cups.
I remember pictures of that car on
when I saw that
or whatever.
Yeah, when I saw that for the first time, I was like, holy shit! I need that. So I ended up, keeping my eye out for an RX-7. This one came up. I managed to convince my mate to buy my MR2. And then...
scammed him.
Yeah, basically. No, it was a good deal, mate.
So many girls, you definitely don't.
I sold the MR2 for like 10 grand or something like that, I think.
Fucking stonk. Yeah. It's still worth 10 grand.
Yeah, I know. So I did all right. And then, this one came up for 26 and I jumped on it. But I don't know if you guys know, the RX-7 has this like complicated twin turbo system. And I'd never driven one before. And really, like these guys weren't going to let a young guy test drive these cars. So I didn't really get to drive one until, I bought this one. And then I took it to the mechanic to get it checked out. And he was like, the twin turbos don't work properly. It'll be $2.5 grand to fix them. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like straight out the bat, I bought a car that's broken. Like it's just, and then that's where all the fun really started, I suppose. I've done everything to this car, it's been through a lot of different iterations as well. So I think basically I bought it. I fixed the turbos straight away because that was like problematic. Gave it a good service. And if you have a look in the folder that I sent you under Inspo, I pulled up this album that I found on Facebook. I have a hidden album on my Facebook, which is one that I made back in 2011. And it has all of like the cars that I was looking at back then that I really liked. I know that the photos are like 5x5 pixels, but that's how big photos were back then. And so you can see that my car was really derived from like these three main cars. You got D-Cups, you got this other wingless RX-7 that I loved, and the feed one there. And back then it was kind of hard to get parts. So I think the first thing I did was order the wheels, and like I didn't know shit about offset or fitment or anything
SSRs
like that.
You have on it?
No, the Advan RSDs that were on it first. Yeah. Okay. So if you look at that photo of the feed one, you can see the RSDs on it, and I was like, oh man, I need that. But I didn't realize that like they weren't going to look like that because I didn't have the wide body kit. So what
That's a classic young move.
I had a fucking idea, dude. I think is it Vivid Racing? Vivid Racing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Telling the story of Bro Beans.
I contacted them because no one else could get the Advans for me, and the guy was super helpful and like helped me out. But he gave me a bum steer, and he ordered me the wrong offsets. So he's like, "Yeah, these will fit. These will fit." So I bought the wheels, got them, put them on the car, and I was like, "Holy shit, these things stick out massively." So I was like, "What am I gonna do?" And I don't know who I was speaking to, but they put me onto Peter Bodyform. I think I found him on the RX-7 forum back in the day. And, Peter has built some of Australia's best cars. And I took the car to him and I was like, please help.
Wheels fit.
Yeah, I was like, what do I do? And he's like, man, he was like, you either buy new wheels or we wide body this bitch right now. So I was like, all right. So I threw down like, I don't know, I think it was like 10 grand or something like that, wide bodying it.
Shit.
What wide body do you have on your car?
Yeah, so it's the feed one. So I was really lucky because he just recently built Raz 13B, and if you Google Raz 13B, it should still come up. But that thing was a machine as well back in the day. Right? Yeah, I think Raz still has that. So that's a beautiful car too. Also wingless. And I was like, man, if you can make it look anything like Raz 13B, I'll be stoked. So he ended up doing that for me, and then for some reason the rear wheels like sat in massively, and I was like, what the fuck? So I ended up having to run spacers, so they didn't fit, and then he put the big guards on, and then they sat in, and then I had to put fucking spacers on it. So I was like, holy shit. Anyway, so I was never truly happy with how it sort of sat at the beginning because it was just not right. So I ended up having to change a few different things over the years, including the wheels. But so that's kind of where it all started with the wheels, and that kind of forced me to wide body it. And then while it was there at Peter, I was like, all right, shave the wing, take the antenna off, take the wipers off, patch it all up, and off we go. So yeah, but Peter's a really he's a magician with what he does, and he's built some amazing cars. So I really feel lucky.
What are some of the other cars he's done? Because I know he did Jake Marquez Evo, the red one that we shot. What other cars has he done?
Do you remember Grail Evo, David?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's done his. He's done like the white NSX wide body that was at World Time Attack a few years ago.
Yep.
he's built a lot of really amazing
What
cars.
shop does he work out of? Well, I haven't heard of him personally.
No, he was Bodyform.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so he doesn't actually do it anymore. Yeah.
Right.
Really?
No.
Well, he built Zemaya's car. So
okay.
he's done some crazy cars, and he did them all himself. So it was a bit slow, but like it was meticulous. And he actually was kind of one of the first guys that was buying aero from Japan and making molds of it so that he could supply the local market without having to pay for shipping and stuff. So yeah. So my feed kit is not genuine. It is actually from a real one that Pete made a mold of. So it was like fresh off the mold.
Is what you're saying.
Well, actually, you know what's funny about that is they bought his molds.
Wow, and then you can see the mold fucks up over time and it doesn't work.
Correct. Yeah. So
fitting properly.
Eventually, you really need to like remold it off an original. Like, it doesn't last forever. Those plugs that they make, But yeah, so I was really lucky because mine was like one of the first ones. So my stuff all fit, amazingly, and he did it himself. So he when Pete's working with his stuff, he made sure it was like spot on. So
yeah, I've definitely seen a few of the cars that he's done, and obviously I've seen your car plenty of times, and it's like you could see bro knows what he's doing, and he's not cutting corners. Like that shit is retardedly good. Like some of these cars that I've seen this guy do are just fucking unreal.
It's something that is like far less common now. Is like people who like don't cut corners, and like there's just so many like shit places, shit shops out there now.
Yeah, we'll do it cheap, we'll do it quick, and you get what you pay for at the end of the day.
Yeah. There's that triangle. It's like cheap, quick, and good. You can only pick two. You know what I mean? And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of the time these days, people are forced, and it's not. I mean, obviously, it's on them.
Nobody's
as well,
making that fucking money anymore, or everything's worth 5 times as much as it was before. Like,
it's hard because people are trying to make money, and it's difficult for everybody, I think, to make a buck and also get what they want done. Yeah, for sure. So I that's why I feel sort of blessed to have built the car at a time when I could. I bought this car when I was a fucking poor uni student. Right, I was working in hospitality. Granted, I was working in fine dining, so it was okay money for a 20-year-old or whatever, and I was making it work. But the mods back then and stuff like that, you could stretch to make it work. So now I'm sure it's probably a lot more to build the same car today would be a lot more money.
Even we were talking about it at lunch, like for what you've put into that car to put the same money into the car, you probably get half of that car
probably
back, because like nobody wants to do this, or this shit is so expensive it doesn't exist anymore, and everything's old and it's more hard to come by, and everybody wants to charge an arm and a leg to import shit. So it is a bit of a pain in the ass to do shit these days, because everything's so much more expensive. So I feel for like the younger generation of kids that see these cars and go, I want to get into Jap cars, and they have to get a fucking house deposit out to do anything to it.
100%.
That's fucking bad.
That's what influences the lower quality of builds everywhere as well.
I think so.
Cheaper cars,
can't
cheaper
afford it.
mods and stuff.
Yeah, and I can understand that, and like it's and that's probably why you see a lot of people favoring these like cheaper, easier cosmetic mods and stuff like that, because that's just more attainable, and that's understandable. But I just basically fully sent it back then. I didn't even think about it. I was like, yep, do it. I closed my eyes and I just kept pulling my wallet out, and I just kind of just spent everything I had. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, while it was at Bodyform, all right, that's where I got those seats that you love, Josh. So what happened was,
fuck those seats,
there was another guy having his RX-7 built, right? And
you went, I want mine to look like shit on the inside. Give me those seats.
Fuck, dude, I had crusty stock seats, right? And this guy was getting his RX-7 wide-bodied at the same time, right? And it was actually really nice. I can probably dig up a photo of it somewhere. But he was a really big dude. He was like 6-something, right? I'm not that tall. I'm like, 5'4", I think. Anyway.
I was just wait for you to be like, I'm like 5'11". No, you're not.
No. I don't care, man. I'm a short kings. Short kings rise up.
You are a short king.
Yeah. So, and he was like, man, he's like, I'm taking these seats out. I just can't fucking fit in them. And I was like, all right, how much do you want for them? And
you were holding his knees going, give them to me.
Dude, he let me buy them off him for like $2,000. These are genuine Bright Ergo 2s, and back then they weren't crusty, I'll have you know. But
they're not even crusty now, they're just fucking ugly.
Nah, well, they are a bit crusty, dude. Like, if you look at them closely, yeah.
Oh, we'll see on fucking Thursday.
So this is my only car for a really long time, and I daily drove it. And back then, they weren't as, like, I wasn't worried. I used to leave it on the street every night, and I'd drive it to the station, leave it at the station while I went to work, like, whatever, it's fine. Yeah, because, I mean, back then, like, it was insured for what it was worth. If it got stolen, okay, fine, like, whatever.
Yeah.
So, I had to drive it all the time, and there's no fucking cup holders in an RX-7. So, I used to put a coffee cup in between the seat belt tulip and the bride. I'd hit a speed bump, and like it'd just go everywhere. That's why they look really dirty. I tried cleaning it, but that shit don't come out, bro.
Yeah, that's annoying. I don't know why all these Jap cars had no cup holders. And there's a saying in the Supra group chats is if your Supra can't beat a supercar, you got a Celica with no cup holders. So that's pretty much what I have. That's
fair. But I mean, they do make them now, but they didn't back then. So anyway, but yeah, I used to daily drive it, and it was stress. It can be stressful with an RX-7 and a rotor as well. Doing that, I did. I mean, everyone jokes about rebuilds and stuff, but I did end up having to. I think, I was having coolant leak issues. Probably like 2 years in or something like that, and just recovering from having to do the wide body, and I blew the engine. So I ended up having to fix that, do all that. I did it all properly. And back then, again, it didn't cost that much. I think it was probably like $8,000 to build the engine.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what, though.
A fucking stock motor, for under 10.
Yeah, I mean, I had about 65,000 Ks on the clock when I bought that car. And I rebuilt it around then. Rotomaster did it, and I got to hand it to them. That engine has not stopped since, and I put another like 60,000 on the clock. So
that's a lot of Ks. Not as many as Osman's GDR, bro. He's driven that shit around the fucking world.
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, that's probably a bit easier to daily than my car. Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, everyone has that there's a bit of stigma with the rotaries and that kind of stuff. But really, honestly, if you look after them, it's just like any other performance car. You should be warming it up, cooling it down, checking the fluids. That's no different to any other car. I don't fucking say a little prayer and do a little dance and poke a voodoo doll or something every time I start it. It's just
same.
It's
it's
fine.
That dance you do, when you're at the mystery box in COD and you got to do like up, down, left, right, spin around.
It's honestly fine as long as you maintain it. So
okay. Well, just quickly change questions. What was the car scene like back in the Stone Age? Because obviously there was no Instagram, there was no social media really. Facebook, that was about it. Because I think we touched on it again at work today that a lot of people these days are gatekeeping, whereas meanwhile everyone was posting their entire build sheets on forums back in the day, but people will gatekeep wrap colors and all this stupid shit now. So what was it like back then?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So like I came up in a time when there was no Instagram, like barely any Facebook, and it was really the age of the forum, and I kind of miss it to a degree because forums were this amazing like database of knowledge where you could just find anything. You search, you got a problem with your RX-7, just search it. There's already thread on how to fix it. So I was able to teach myself and learn so much about the car through the forum that I just don't think you could do without it. So if I had an issue or something, I just like look it up. Someone's already fixed the problem before. So
well, what was it like stigma wise? Because I think everybody talks about clout chaser. This guy's got a big head because he got Instagram following. That wasn't a thing. Was it like?
No, it wasn't a thing.
Was the cars that had better quality shit on them like, you can't park with us with your stock fucking blah blah blah? Was that like the definition of? This guy's the king, will idolize him because his car was cooler, or was it like normal? Because now it's like, he's got so many Instagram followers, I can't even go say hello to him. Like, no, please.
Well, yeah, I think that's interesting because like meets and cruises and stuff like that were organized through forums. It'd be like someone would post up on the forum like, we're doing a cruise on X date, who's coming, and it would just be like a list of people who are coming, and it would just grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I think. People probably just thought I was like some young retard with the MR2 that was bright blue or whatever. But then, like when you meet in person, it's fine. I was. Yeah, no,
you held up.
Yeah, no. So it was fine. I think people were generally a lot more open minded because like the car scene was pretty varied. You had normal cars, JDM cars, and sex spec, and it was just all mixed in between, and no one had any clout. It was just like whatever. And
humble beginnings, bro. Yeah. It's okay if you don't get it.
Yeah, I think really the only people who had any clout were the ones that you'd see in stands at shows.
I guess the biggest thing back then was like, oh, his car got featured in a magazine.
That was it.
Now it's like, oh my god, he was on JDM Gram.
Yeah, yeah.
I once again came in with my 86 on the tail end of forums, I think, just before they kind of became irrelevant. And I relate with what you said with you kind of miss it because there was just something different about forums. Like I just remember sitting on forums all night, for hours going through whether it's the sales posts or different people's builds or just getting ideas for stuff. It was just a different experience, and there was so much content to consume about your car. It was really cool.
Definitely.
I mean, the forums are still there. I have to go on them every now and again because, especially with my car being quite old, I have to look it up because there's all these. It's when we go on super drive days and stuff, most of the guys are pretty old because they've had their cars for a while. So the forums for me are still quite useful. However, they're not active because
exactly.
I'm like, oh, I'll quickly reply to this guy. Or when did this guy have this problem? And it was 2004.
2 years ago.
So they're still good, but forums for Golfs and RS3s and that sort of stuff probably don't exist. You're probably better off being in a Facebook group, which again is the new forum, but everybody, you ask a question in the Facebook group, everybody tells you you're a fucking idiot or bullies you or whatever, as I've had constantly. It's hey guys, how do you do X, Y, Z? Oh, well, I think you wouldn't have this problem if... It's shut the fuck up. That's my question.
Honestly, I think Facebook groups really encourage laziness as well because people just ask a question without even looking or trying to find out or do any research. And I'll tell you what, by doing your own research and pouring through forums, you find so much other stuff as well. Look, I'm not very hands-on. Anything I do with my hands seems to turn to shit. That's why I'm a graphic designer, so I can control Z shit, right? So I don't do anything mechanical myself, really, except for the bare minimum. So I would research the absolute shit out of everything to try and work out what I needed to do. So, I found that really helpful. And also, I think it's interesting because I can pull up my build thread, my original build thread that I started in 2013, and it's a time capsule of everything I've done. So I can go and have a look at what I was doing and people talking to me about it and the research I was doing. So, and I'm glad that that's still there. I hope it doesn't go. So.
Oh, I doubt it. If it's on the internet, it's going to be there forever. Yeah. And with coming up in the car scene, and because obviously you've been around with cars and whatnot through Sex Spec and I guess coming through to Stance and all that sort of stuff and people moving towards trackish sort of stuff now and liveries, where do you... what do you think? Where's it going to go from here? You've been around for longer, so I guess you got a better gauge on what's trending and what stays and what goes and what's died. Obviously, Sex Spec's completely fucking dead, but your car was built quite a while ago and it hasn't changed in a long time, and it still looks like something that could be built today. So.
Well, I mean, we're talking about that today, right? So, if you're listening to the podcast, Google D-Cups RX-7, it'll come up. That car you could put on the road right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And do you know what? Realistically, if you're looking at it, he's just put high quality parts on that car that are timeless. That's the key to it, I suppose. For me, I was just picking bits and pieces to build a car that I liked because back then there was no reason to build it for anyone other than yourself because except for people who saw it, around or whatever. But whatever. So really, I really truly built that car for me. And what I liked. And I think some of that's lost today, obviously, for some people, depending on what their goals are. Yeah. So where is it going now? That's an interesting question because, you say, Sex Spec is dead, right? But
I mean, we're borderline touching on it with Stance anyway.
It's interesting. I feel as we've all, the whole scene has evolved, right? And everyone becomes more aware and as information becomes more readily available and you can kind of see trends moving around, things do come back full circle. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, 10 years from now.
I hope your fucking MR2 doesn't come back full circle.
Well, fuck you, dude. But I don't know, man. It's interesting because I think that you get to a point, right, where you just get bored. people get bored of like what they're looking at, and they go, all right, let's just change it up, and then that's how new trends are born. So realistically, I think that it'll black and chrome is hot right now, but eventually people will want to do something different.
People will want color, it'll be rainbow wheels and blue wrap.
Once your entire Instagram feed is black and chrome, you're going to be like, fuck this, and you're going to do something else. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm a simple man.
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens next. But things are always changing, so I don't think it's just going to stay stagnant for sure.
So are you saying Sexspec's going to make a comeback? Is that what you're trying to hint at?
I'm not saying
the next mod for the RX-7 is 22-inch fucking donk boys.
I'm not saying Sexspec's coming back, but I'm just saying that
Darius, bro, you might be saved with ugly cars, bro. They could be coming back. It could be a trend.
Look, I'll tell you what as well. Like, thinking about it, like realistically, I think that that kind of stuff it would be really hard to do now too, because
it's so expensive, bro.
Well, but I mean, even painting a car a garish color, and like I can't believe Jake, aka OK Buyer, doesn't have more issues being bright fucking blue, because like I remember driving the MR2 and like I just look at a cop and they pull me over because like they'd be like, who the fuck is this
haircut
dickhead?
Yeah, bro. I gotta find a photo of you with that fucking horrible haircut.
I had big Ziz hair, so
hell yeah.
Ziz was a big thing back then. Anyway.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, anyway,
everything ebbs and flows, and as you said, Adam comes full circle.
Does.
Like fashion, music, like it's always this cycle. And I would literally not be surprised if a small form of sex that kind of style re-enters mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, look at fashion, right? I see a lot of people on like TikTok like loving 90s fashion right now. Like it just, you can say, oh, that's never coming back, and then look what happens. Like it's crazy. Who knows, man? But I think it's interesting, and I do think it's difficult.
I can definitely respect a lot of Sexspec builds because yes, they're fucking horrible to look at, but look at all the shit that's actually done to a Sexspec car. Like seriously, for people that are listening, like every now and again, especially if you go to like Wollongong, for example, because for some reason they're always in Wollongong Sexspec cars. If you go,
because Wollongong's about 30 years behind Sydney.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, legit. They only just got like
sorry, Maddie,
the other day. There's a lot of Sexspec cars, but seriously, have a look at some of the cars, and the amount of shit that he's done to them is like ridiculous.
It's
like,
crazy.
There's custom this, custom that, interiors, like shit you would never see on any other car, because these days it's like, and obviously we're all guilty of it, because that's just, I mean, that's what I like. I don't give a shit about Sexspec cars, but like, it's like interior stuff, seats, steering wheel, good
just
speakers,
go watch an episode of Pimp My Ride.
Yeah.
Whereas Sexspec cars are like custom door cards and custom speaker housing, and how many speakers can I fit on my fucking door?
A Nintendo Cube in the back with the water fill.
Like nobody does that shit anymore. So yeah, it's fucking ugly, but
look, it's just a matter of
craftsmanship that goes into a car like that. Like it's ridiculous.
It's just a matter of tastes changing with time. Really, that's all it is.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's really like you can see it a lot more evidently like through social media now how those trends are changing. Back then,
or you go on to I'll find
because
the Instagram for you, Darius, to pop up Oz Sexspec. I follow them. Oh my god, amazing shit on there.
Yeah.
But with that question, Adam, is there one thing that you particularly like hate about the car scene at the moment, as well as like love to like put a light on both? Like, is there one thing that ticks you off like a lot at the moment that you see?
Anything that ticks you off, my guy?
Look, there are definitely some people who make their car their entire personality, which is fucking ridiculous. Like, if your car is...
Can we have an example, please? Can we call someone out? You can blur. We'll blur it out. Darius, don't blur it out.
I'll beep it out, but real bad. Like, it'll be like before you say the name.
Joshua Michael. No, I'm just kidding. Something I really like.
Yeah, what's something that you like about the scene now, and then what's something that you fucking hate about it? Like, and also vice versa from back in the day. What was the best thing? What was the worst thing?
Well, I think back in the day it was probably just being a lot more carefree about it. Cops didn't really like bother me that much. I mean, I got pulled over, but I didn't get like defected or anything like that. They just, it was really just for speeding and stuff like that. I wasn't looking over my shoulder all the time. I think cops are a lot more cluey now, and not that I've had
they're not stupid anymore.
Not that I've had a lot of issues with them, touch wood, but I just know I'm one bad experience away from a nightmare, right? So back then, carefree, no worries. Drop top, take the Targa top off, go for a cruise. It was fucking mad. Like, I loved that.
Out, chuck the
100%, dude.
Get the Kanye fucking split glasses out.
I had the tight tank top on and the fucking Ziz hair and like the big glasses and the fluoro.
Yeah. You put the zinc on your face as well.
I had like, what was it? Like the annual on, you know, like Ministry of Sound, like the annual. Yeah. Anyway,
right. Yeah. Sorry, that was probably on a CD as well, right?
It was, dude.
Can't remember the last time I touched a fucking CD.
Yeah. No, it was mad. So that was great. I really enjoyed the carefree aspect of the car scene back then. Something I didn't like back then, probably just how difficult everything was and like the steep learning curve because there wasn't access to a lot of stuff. Trying to buy stuff off eBay at the beginning of eBay and like getting like trying not to get scammed and trying to find and source parts was really hard back then. And then now, I mean, that's shit so easy. You can just get anything from anywhere. Message Jesse Streeter and he can get you something from the other side of the world in a week, you know? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's something I think is really good. I mean, it's going to sound super corny, but I really enjoy seeing my friends enjoying their cars as well online, like through Instagram and stuff, because I can't do it as much as I did. So it is nice for me. Like, I do enjoy watching my friends do stuff without me. I know that sounds pretty fucking lame, but I'm glad that people can still enjoy their cars and do things, even though I can't at the moment because life's just fucking hectic. So yeah, so being able to keep up with my car friends and see what they're doing through socials is nice. And I think people who make their cars and social media their entire personality is just fucking lame. That's just me.
Yeah. No, that's
is that a good answer?
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of follows into the next one because something that someone asked, and I didn't even really think about it until they mentioned it, was how do you find like juggling like family life and then work life as well, and still being involved into like the car stuff as well?
Yeah, it's really hard, man. I'm sitting here like at my desk, and my car's behind me, and it's got a pretty nice layer of dust on it.
And your children are fucking screaming, "Feed me! Get off the podcast, Dad! You fucking."
Nah, I've got two boys, and they're both really good. It's just a matter of time, and like that's why I'm saying like I actually enjoy seeing my mates like. You know, Josh and Osman and all these other guys, you know, when they're out doing stuff with their cars. Because, like, I still would like to do that. But the problem is, right, is that when you've got nothing, like no commitments or anything like that, you can just go for a drive whenever the fuck you want. But I find it really hard right now. Like, I feel like I have to have a really good reason to get the car out. Yeah. I'm not just taking it out for a drive for no fucking reason to Macca's or anything like that. There's no way. Like,
you can't pick up, bro. You're married.
You can still pick up if you're married. I mean, no, that's why I live vicariously through Josh and his nudes. So. No, but seriously, it is hard to juggle those things. But I do enjoy it when I do get to go out. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I remember I like driving this thing. But yeah, it is difficult. You do get less time as you get older to do it, and I think that's one of the things. Like when you're young, right? You bend over backwards for your car. I remember the shit that I did, driving hours to pick up parts, throwing money at it, just going out of my way to make sure that I'd got my car finished, got what I needed for my car. Spending hours and hours doing that shit, and you just don't have that time anymore when you got a family. So I'm glad the car's finished because there's no way it would get done if it was halfway built now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is hard. So yeah, go out there, waste all your money on your car now because you probably won't be able to later. That's my advice.
What's the age range when you're like, all right, stop fucking around your car now, idiot?
Well, that's entirely dependent on your situation, I think. But like, I think when I had one kid, I was still able to go out to dinner with my car friends and stuff like that. And it wasn't really interrupted that much. But I mean, my car was already built by that point, so it was okay. I just think it all comes down to your commitments and how much time you've got to spend on it, really. But yeah, that time, that free time, definitely diminishes, and then you can't be going out at fucking midnight for car cruises to Macca's and shit like that when you got kids.
Bring him. I see all the junkies at
yeah.
He's just true. I mean, talking with the passenger seat.
Trying not to be a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, you could get baby Recaro seats, bro. Just chuck them in the passenger.
Well, I mean, I've taken the back seats out of the FD, so yeah, I don't think you're meant to have them in the front ones. But,
yeah. That'll be right.
Yeah.
Just anyway, replace the roll cage with bubble wrap.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't
probably,
crash.
dude, honestly, like the stock seats in the back seat of the RX-7, you could put a baby in that. They ain't moving. Like those things are made for like quadriplegics, bro. Like,
Yeah. Amputees even.
Amputees, sorry, yeah, you can't fucking fit it. I remember one time I drove my car to uni because I went to uni at Billy Blue in North Sydney, and we had to get my mates back across the bridge, and like we didn't really want to like pay for a cab or whatever, and there was 3 of us, and my mates are all taller than me, which is not hard, but they're all like 6 something, right? So
they're all 5 foot.
We put the passenger seat all the way forward, and then we opened the boot, and then my mate climbed in through the hatch. Like the RX-7's got this massive hatch. He climbed in through the boot and sat sideways across the 2 back seats.
That's the only way you can fit
and
this
then,
fucking stupid Jap car.
And then my mate sat with his knees in his. My mate sat with his knees in his jaw to get back across the thing. So I mean, you can make it work, I guess. But it was funny, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Jeez.
But yeah, anyway, I got rid of those a long time ago. So yeah, so that's that about family, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, would I like to drive it more? Yeah, I would. But like I said, I don't know, man. It becomes difficult because it's like, man, I really want to drive it, but I also don't want to break anything or have any problems with the cops because, like, I don't have the time to rectify it right now. So yeah, it's hard. But I do enjoy it when I drive it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, I guess it's good because a lot of. Oh, sorry, Josh, I don't want to cut you off, but like it's probably good because like a lot of the listeners, or even myself, you know, starting to get into that age where like you kind of should stop spending money in your car. And
how
kind
old are you, Barry?
25.
Old as shit. Oh yeah, you are old as shit.
Yeah, getting there. Got back problems and stuff like that. You know how it is.
I understand.
What'd you say, Cody?
Watch yourself.
Oh, why? Because you're getting senile.
Yeah.
You nearly fallen asleep during this podcast.
Cody has to keep asking where he is every 5 minutes.
Cody, how old are you?
It's alright, I know my voice is soothing.
Your voice is very soothing.
I'm turning 27.
Oh, why don't you just say 26? I love when people say I'm 33 turning 34. Oh, really? I thought you were going to...
No, like this year.
I know what number comes after.
This year. If I would say...
Yeah, just say that, bro.
Okay, he's 36 months old, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Shit.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, is there anything that you're planning on doing to the car next? Or, I mean,
look,
this is one of those things, right, where you're like, I'm at the end of the build, I've done everything, but it's not like, oh, I haven't done this one thing. It's like, I want to change something.
I'll tell you what I really want to do. I really want to put a fucking badge on the back of the car because it has a little holes for it, but it doesn't have a badge on it. So I had a black one,
but... Didn't
you
get that taken when you went to Gloss Lab or something and you took it off to detail it and I feel like it never got put back on? Or am I tripping?
No, he was freaking out like he lost my badge. He was like, dude, did this car have a badge on it? Because there's holes there, but no badge.
Like, yes, you have to.
I'm like, bro, that's $500 for a new Mazda OEM badge. Thanks. No, Pierre, shout out to Adam Tompkin. He did a fucking amazing job on my car, so go see him. Yeah, he's a weapon. That's Gloss Lab, by the way. You can pay me later. So I really want a badge on it, and there's a guy who makes this amazing badge, which has got like, it's the flying Mazda M in the shape of a rotor. And I've been waiting for them for ages to make a nice version of it. I bought a janky 3D printed version of it, and I was like, nah, there's no way. I
thought you were going to be like, oh, this is guy that makes the Mazda badge. You know the one that's got like the devil horns on it?
I'm going to do that as a meme, dude. Yeah. No. It's really nice. And I'm just waiting for them to make I think they're going to make a titanium one or something, so I'll pick that up for sure. But like my car, I was saying to Josh, right?
So you've got a $50 mod you want to do to your car, that's it.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, I've done just about everything to the car, right? Yeah, it's got the bodywork, it's got the wheels, it's got the big brakes, all the fuel lines are done, like it's E85 converted, big single turbo. There's really not a lot more I could do to it in terms of that. For me, really, it would just be a lot of maintenance stuff, like redoing like all the bushings and like suspensions, arms and stuff like that. You know, just old wear and tear items and stuff. The only thing I never really did was the interior. I just added to it, and don't fucking say anything about my brides.
You should add
a pair of Recaros.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should add a window switch that doesn't fall out.
Yeah, that's true. You know, these old cars, man, like people romanticize them, but really, like they're old as fuck now. They're falling apart, bro. Like, they're all squeaky and shit. Like, it's just, it is what it is. It's just part of owning the car. My map lid's broken, but like so is every other RX-7's map lid. It's like the little thing on the door. It's just one of those things. It's just a part of the charm, you know. So I never did the interior fully. Like, definitely the interior is modified. I've got all my, my Defi gauges and stuff like that. And I made it nice. I put, CarPlay. That shit is amazing. I don't even drive the car that much, but that is a must-have now. CarPlay is the number one mod for me. That's so good. Quality of life right there. And then
the ops are at all times.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always looking over my shoulder now and always checking Waze before I go out anyway. It's fucking annoying. But anyway, I'm glad that exists. Definitely saved me a few times. The interior is really, like, I'd love to do the interior. I think Hulk 20B, Axe, he's done an amazing job of his interior. That shit is amazing. Like, all the carbon door.
Is that what you do? You do all carbon stuff, or would you like retrim?
I don't know if I do that much carbon. I think
that's a lot of carbon.
Yeah, no, it's too much for me. I think I'd like it with like a little bit here and there or whatever, just to match the outside of the car. But like, I really like what you did with your gloss black dash. I think that looks really nice, and I think that looks really good on a black car. So something like that with a bit of some ultra suede with some double white stitch or something, or double grey stitch would be really nice and neat. But it is seemingly very expensive to do interior stuff, from what I can tell, just because getting the dash in and out is really labor intensive and time consuming, right? And I'm retarded, so I can't do that on my own. If someone helped me, maybe I'd do it. But Josh, you want to help me?
Well, I can help you pull your dash apart. I'll super glue or blue tack fucking eBay felt shit on there for sure.
Nice.
Or when you go to like those little
put some clag glue on there, just flock it. Yeah.
No, the model shops, and they've got like the dioramas that have that sprinkle grass.
It's called flocking. Yeah, flock the shit out of it. Yeah. No, that's really the only thing I didn't do to the nth degree. But if the one thing that I always really wanted to do was put a 4-rotor in it. Now that is like the ultimate to me.
Big.
And it is big. And like I said, I bought the car, and not because I liked rotaries. I really didn't care. I'm not like a rotary purist or anything like that. So I just bought it because I love the shape. But I fell in love with the sound of the 26B. And
if fucking insane.
If you're gonna do like an engine swap or something like that, I think the 26B is really the ultimate way to go for that. It's a 4-rotor, for those who don't know. It's basically two of the same engine stacked together in a sandwich, and it screams like an F1 car. So you can Google Mazda 767B. It was a Le Mans car, 24-hour car. Yeah, and that thing just sounds incredible. Like, shivers up the spine kind of sounds. So that,
what does Hulk have? That's 20B, right?
That's a 20B, yeah. So the 20, it's really interesting, right? Like the way that the harmonics work. The 13B is like whatever. It sounds okay. Some of them sound really bad, but you put another one on and you got a 3-rotor. It makes it really like deep and grunty. But then you put another one on and make it 4, and it absolutely screams its tits off.
I think Darren Robb has one in his shed that he's building at the moment to be a drag car, and he started it up, and it sounds fucking insane. Loud as shit. Yeah. Had no exhaust on it. He works for he owns Billet Inc. So it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc. too.
It's really interesting because like there's been a lot of research and development in the last few years with rotaries. People, all the technology we have available to us now with like CAD and all the all the CNC like machining and stuff like that. They can make all these parts that never existed before. So there's people doing some really crazy shit like Rob Dahm. And those guys just building insane cars. So I'm just kind of waiting until America has it all figured out, and then I'll just come in at the end and just buy it when they've done all their research and development. All the other guinea pigs have gone forward. I've done my time being a guinea pig because when I built the car, not many people were doing what I was trying to do. I was trying to do E85, and I put one of the very first EFR Borg Warner turbos on the car. No one had really done it before, It was there was a lot of guesswork and a lot of mucking around, and there was a lot of pain and tears and money involved in getting the car to where it is, because it came with twin turbos. Then I maxed them out to be like as good as they could be. I made about 230 kilowatts or something like that on the stock setup. And then I ditched that for the single turbo, and that was just like all cutting edge stuff. No one had done it before, so it was all learning curve. And then I did it again when I went to the bigger Borg Warner in the last couple of years. So I've been through a few different setups now. So I've spent a lot of time and money doing my own fucking guinea pig work on that, and giving back to the community, like the RX-7 community as well. Like I tried to report on everything that I did so that other people knew, you know, what did and didn't work with what I was trying to do.
Not all superheroes wear capes. Some of them
that's it.
are 5'4".
Yeah, there's no gatekeeping here, bros. There's no gatekeeping here,
Wow,
bros.
That's awesome.
That's so inspirational. But aside from all these boring engine mods, would you ever slam the fucking shit out of it? That's
Do you know
the real
what?
question.
If I ever built another car, I would bag the shit out of it the moment that I bought it. I have no problem with that because, you know, bags had this really bad stigma for a long time about being shit ass, but they've come a really long way. And I've seen what they can do with them now. And like, I got no problem with it. I don't give a fuck about static versus bags or anything. I'm all about quality of life. I put air cups on my car. Again, you know, I think I was one of the first people to really do it. Like, and it was just like it was just game changing. Like I can fucking drive into a Westfield car park with a huge ass splitter on the front of my car, no problem. So, you know, it really made my life a lot easier. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think breaking my splitter every fucking 5 minutes like Josh is a good idea. So
mad street cred, you can get it.
You can imagine how much money you'd have if you just spent like $1,200 on a set of air cups.
I know. I need to get air cups.
Yeah, bad.
Silly bitch.
MCA's doing sponsorships, bro. You should hit them up.
Bro,
if you guys are listening, Stance Parts.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Damn,
in terms of quality of life mods, AirPlay.
AirPlay? You mean CarPlay, bro?
Fucking CarPlay. Sorry, I'm a boomer. Forgive me.
You're getting old and tired.
I am, mate. It's way past my bedtime, bros. CarPlay, some kind of airlift, and then I have an AES exhaust valve, which is really great, so the neighbors don't get mad. And it's just like a little switch, and it's just got like a little butterfly valve in the exhaust.
Is that like a universal thing, or is that part of your?
No, you can put it on. You can put it on any. You can put it on any car. It's like, you know how X-Force have like a muffler that like that redirects the flow, right? But those things just get blown the fuck out by a rotary. So it's just like a butterfly valve that AES make here locally, and I think it's like $350.
Holy shit.
Totally worth it. You got to weld it in, but so good. What I did was, like, in the middle of the RX-7 console, there's like 3 blank switches, right? And I don't use my fog lights, so I bought another fog light switch. One fog light switch does the uppy downy, and then one fog light switch does the noisy quiety. So yeah, it's good. Works well.
Yeah. What would you, talking about, you said if you did it again, you would put air. What car would you build if you had to build one again? Like, to start today, what would you build?
Right now?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm a big fan of the new Supra. I think it looks really good when you do it right. I mean, they look great. They look great slammed on a nice set of wheels. Like, that's it. I think for me, what I would love to do is build a car that just had bolt-ons that I could take off if I got into any strife. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think a bagged Supra would be amazing. I really like the Street Hunter wide body for it as well. I think someone needs to do that here. That would be sick.
I'm sure it won't take long.
Yeah, I mean, like if I had the money to do it right now, that's probably something I'd look at building. It's like a Street Hunter wide body Supra. Slam it, be fucking great. Yeah.
Nah, 19-inch maneuvers on the FD, bro. I'm telling you.
Well, when Jason buys my RX-7, you can, because you model all of his cars for him, you can put the maneuvers on the RX-7 for him. Right?
Done. Fucking done.
Easy.
How's the garage setup going? That thing is beautiful. Does it get hot in there?
No, I've got aircon in here, dude.
Oh, fuck, you lucky
man. I'll tell you what does suck, though, is like if I take the car for a drive and I've got to work afterwards, like I've got to leave the garage open for a bit to like air. I was thinking about putting like a ventilation fan in there, but my dad was like, nah, but I kind of wish I did that. So
gas yourself out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I love E85 as much as the next person, but when you're just sucking it in, it's the garage is cool, man. I don't know, like I bought my grandfather's old place off him, and he had this big garage. It was really gross. So I gutted it, stripped it, and then I just cladded it, painted it, and then set it up to be able to work out of here because of lockdown. And I was like, I always wanted to build my own man cave, so I basically did that. And it looks really good, man. I haven't even taken like that many photos of it or anything. I really need to put up some more garage content because people loved it. Last time I posted it, it went off.
When I first saw it, I was like, "Damn, that is so clean."
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool, and it actually wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard to do, honestly. Like just a bit of time and effort. But yeah, It's a really nice space to work, and it is nice to walk in and see the car, and then walk out and never drive it. So you go, yeah, it's still there.
What I know you touched on it a little bit, but what do you do for work? So you work for the Lowdown, and really quickly, two-part question here. I get a lot of people asking me what the Lowdown is, because a lot of people think it's just a sticker, or they don't understand that it's a brand and all this other stuff. So, I mean, maybe you or Josh answer that, and as well what you do.
All right. So I'm a graphic designer. I have a degree in communication design. So I build brands, like logos and identities and things like that. I build websites. I do, digital design, print design, all that kind of stuff. I've been working for myself for a very long time, like since I left uni. I tried working at a couple of other like big advertising agencies, and it just wasn't for me. So I ended up working for myself. And I don't even really remember how I got introduced to the guys at the Lowdown. But I guess that question about me coming up in the car scene goes hand in hand with my work as well, because I really, as I got into the car scene, I really liked Zen Garage and things that they were doing. Justin Fox, who started that, was a big inspo for me back then, back when he was normal, I guess.
Not schizophrenic, yep.
He, so, he was a graphic designer. Yeah, schizophrenic.
He's full-blown schizo, yeah.
Yeah, so like back then, right, Zen Garage was like Lowdown. It was like a car lifestyle brand, and there wasn't really any other one that was cool. Like, and they were doing the meets, and they were running these things, and they were doing all this stuff. And like, if you were in with Zen Garage, like, it was really, it was really cool. And Justin Fox was a graphic designer who went to Billy Blue, just like me. And like, I was like, I thought this guy was like, I was like, oh, that's so cool, And then I guess Lowdown started becoming more prevalent, and I don't really remember who I was speaking to, whether it was Jason or Michael Zamea, but I ended up getting in touch with them, and they were like, oh, what do you do? And, they saw my car, and we started chatting and stuff. And I'm pretty sure I started off doing a few things for free for them, like doing some t-shirt designs and stuff like that. And that's kind of how we started getting going there. But so I've worked with car people from, early on, since like 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
And I've got my car to thank for that, because without my car, I wouldn't have met any of these people. So so I have my own clients, but I also work with the Lowdown, and I've been working with them since before they were the Lowdown agency. So the Lowdown is basically an automotive lifestyle brand, right? First and foremost. And when people ask me, I was like, what do they do? I was like, we make cool car shit. Like, that's basically it. Like, we took over from, I guess, where magazines left off, right? Doing online features in the same spirit that like Street Cover and all these other guys were as well, right? But where they probably stopped and went to do other things and continue with their other careers, Lowdown just kept going. And the Lowdown agency spawned out of the lowdown.com, and I guess using all the skills that Jason and Michael learned from building up the Lowdown brand, they translated into building the Lowdown marketing agency. And they specialize in automotive stuff. So most of my clients outside of the Lowdown are not automotive clients. They're just like, all other industries. But a lot of the clients that we work with at the Lowdown are all like automotive, like Michelin and other places like that. So it is really fun, honestly. It's a great place to work, and we have a lot of fun, and the work that we work on is fun, and we are just always making cool shit, basically. Whether it's working on the agency side of things or the brand side of things, doing video features and photos and all that kind of stuff. It's always been a lot of fun. And for me, really, really thankful for it, because it allowed me to sort of get into the epicenter of the car scene and get my car, like, it gave me like free access to all these car shows. I went from like parking on the hill to being on a stand in the middle of hot import nights. So it's really cool. It's really cool.
Lick the right butts.
I don't do any butt licking. What do you mean? I've worked my ass off.
It's good because as you said, like with you in your personal life not having much time for cars, if you weren't the Lowdown, then you probably would have little to no time for cars.
Correct. Yeah. So it lets me keep my hand in and see what's going on in the scene, and work with cars, work with people who like cars, and keep that little bit of that car passion alive. So yeah, it's been really good. And I've done a lot of stuff like even before Lowdown. They're gonna kill me. I think they know this anyway. But like, I did some stuff with.
Michael's listening, bro.
I did some stuff with Tuned like before I even did stuff with them and Chris Somerville and whatever. And I actually did the logo for that fucking stupid Zip Ties Facebook group.
Really?
Yep. And that actually, the original one actually got shut down.
Yeah.
And then
I remember.
someone started again using the same logo, and I didn't really care, but I remember Chris being like, you should go and get up them for stealing the logo that you made. And I was like, I don't care. Do I? Do I care? Should I care? Anyway, so that happened, and then I ended up having a massive argument with the person who started that second group, who is actually, I think, mentally disabled. And then
was it public? That kind of rings a bell.
What was it?
Like this fight between you and old mate? News.
Yeah, it was.
It was like on the public
it
group.
was.
I remember.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was like, bro, take that logo down. I made that.
Yeah. Oh god.
Because I made it for Chris, and then he was like, I mean, you can't. It's hard because it's like it's hard to stop someone using it. But because they started making stickers out of it and trying to make money out of it, that's when I was like, fuck you. You know what I mean? So I was like, that was pretty annoying. So. And it wasn't even that I really liked the logo that much. It's just the principle of it, really. So, but like I do have some other car clients, I should say, outside of Lowdown. Like the Dub House is one of my clients. So it's really cool seeing the Dub House sticker and banner on pretty much every fucking modified Golf in the country. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it is rewarding to be working with people in the car scene. So yeah, and it gives you lots of connections and contacts and stuff like that, which is always nice, especially when you want parts.
For sure.
So I'm a designer, basically. And also, I do take photos, which I don't know how many people know that or not, but like, I've been taking photos for a very long time.
Most of your car on your page is your photos, hey?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And so, like, I'm really privileged to be friends with some people who have really nice cars. So, hanging out with Osman and Jake and Josh and stuff, getting to take photos of their cars is really cool. Although Josh never posts any photos I take because my photos are too bright. I do enjoy taking photos, but I never made it it's not my primary thing. It's just sort of a passion, and I kept it that way because I don't know. There's like people who make money out of taking car photos. I don't think I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a lot going on there, so I just wouldn't bother.
Offended.
Different for you, right? I mean, you're a very rare case where you actually made it, which is great. So I think that a lot of people, do I want to sound like a Debbie Downer? Like, don't bother, you shit? Or like, do I say follow your dreams and, become all that you can be?
Bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know.
There is a select few.
It's
like being told that you could play professional sports as a kid. There's only a select few that will
honestly,
make it.
If you don't try, you don't know.
So. 100%.
Yeah, that's right. I know. We were laughing about this, though. We see it all the time, though, like, because I'm friends with, like Osman, which is Illigram, and M4 Ruby, and OK by Jake, and Daniel Flexus, and stuff like that. And they get approached by people trying to take photos all the time. And I see, like, we always laugh about it because these photographers are like, oh, yeah, do you want to shoot sometime? And they're like, oh, yeah, we can. Okay, no worries. And they're like, okay, let's do it on this date. And, here's my fee list.
Oh.
Like, it's like, bruh, like, come on, really? Like, and, like, I think it's hard for me, right? Because I'm in 2 months. I firmly believe you should get paid for your time if it's your work. Do you know what I mean? But it's a very, when it comes to automotive photography, I don't know. It's a really weird fine line. Like, I don't.
If they're the one reaching out, then.
Yeah, if you're approaching someone, you can't be like, and by the way, that's $400. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think there's a way to go about it, and that's kind of what I did. I was like, if I'm ever approaching a car to shoot, I'm obviously like I'm not going to charge them because I'm asking them to take the photos. But the benefit of doing that, which is what people don't see in the long run, is I have fucking content. Because if you go, hey, I'm going to hit up 50 people and charge them all $400 fucking dollars, they're all going to be like, I don't want your photos, they're shit anyway. But if you go, oh, I'll do it for free, they go, oh, okay. And then you learn and you network, and then you can post those photos, and eventually you can do 3 free shoots, advertise your photos, and then people will go, oh, he shot with all these really nice cars. If he shot with the nice cars, then he will want to shoot with my car, so I'll hit him up to take photos of my car. That was what I did. I was like, basically shooting for free to get exposure. The exposure brought in business, and then that would bring in more exposure, and that would bring in more business, and it was just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
It is funny because, like, you know, it's a massive meme. It's like, oh, I'll just feed my kids with exposure. You know what I mean? But like, I guess if you're a young guy and you're into photography, or girl, I should say, and you want to take photos of cars, like, yeah, you definitely should. But I think that it's hard. You can't be charging people unless you're a fucking god tier. You know what I mean? Or they approach you. I think right. If they approach you, that's fine. But
legit. Well, I think Dylan's probably a perfect example of this. He was someone that was a very good photographer who I asked to shoot my car, and I approached him. I was like, I'm happy to pay, and he was like, no. Like, I want to get the experience and like put it out there, because he had no real content because he was too shy to kind of approach people. Very good photographer who now gets approached by like likewise to shoot content for, like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's networked himself up. But he never was like, I'll go out and ask a bunch of people if I can shoot their car and then try and charge them. He worked his way up, and now he's where like a lot of people that have like come into photography and gone, I'm going to try and charge a bunch of people, make some money off it. No, it's just,
you got to pay your dues. 100%. Like I definitely think you should get paid if you're good at what you do. 100%. But you got to get there.
100%.
So, but yeah, so I do take photos. I do really enjoy taking photos of cars. I think I'm pretty good at taking photos of cars, but I just don't get to do it as much as I'd like. I just do it when I can, and it's interesting because like I have photographers come and say, "Oh, I'd love to shoot your RX-7." I'm like, bro, I don't even take the car out to put petrol in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, it's hard. And I also usually say to them, like, I actually take all my own photos. Like, I don't, you know, it's very rare. They would have to be better than me for me to go out of my way to let them shoot my car. I know that sounds really like arrogant, but like, I get it though. Cause like, it's the same. I take photos of my car, right? Yeah. So if you can take your own photos, it's just like, you wouldn't bother.
If you're taking photos close to like home, like I'm happy kind of, depending on who it is, to do it, but otherwise, like, I might as well just do it myself. Like, I can do it myself, and I'm willing to risk it, because if some kid's like, hey, can you drive, come pick me up and then take me to the photo spot, I'm like, dude, the chances of me copping a fucking $2,000 fine on the way to your house to get some like pretty average photos is quite high. So like, at least meet me in the middle and come out to where I am, and then we'll take the photos. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I've done for a couple of kids. Because, like, I was that kid once as well, you know? I was a kid that was hitting people up, so I get it.
Yeah. Maybe if I was 10 years younger, I would. But, you know, what's funny? Like, I even remember doing shoots with, like, when I had more time and I was, you know, more bothered, I remember doing shoots, but I'd take my camera and I'd be, like, standing behind them to, like, take my own fucking photos anyway. Yeah. So, you know, and because I, you know, I can, but also because I wanted to be able to do my own thing with the photos too. So, you know, in the end, I just do it all myself. So, you know, and I do enjoy taking photos of cars, and there are cars that I would like to take photos of, but just never get around to it, you know. So, but is what it is, I suppose. Now and then I do get to pick up the camera with the Lowdown and go out and shoot with Josh, which is nice, but not all the time, just sometimes.
That's what we're doing on Thursday.
Yeah. Nice. That's true. Yeah.
Next bit. One car that you want to add to the rank list.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Because I won't say it. Oh. No, I'll say it actually.
Yep.
Say it. I was joking because No, look, I was joking with my mate Jake. Okay, Bye. I was like, how can you talk about Australian car scene without including Okay, Bye? But he doesn't want to be on the list. So my actual choice is AA Aiden's 86. That thing is bonkers, and I can't believe it's not on the list.
Yeah. Very, very slept on.
You know, I'm not even like some crazy stance, fan, but that thing is just insane from the bottom to the top, and I love what he's done. And he's a super humble dude, and he's got like barely any social presence. He's like the least clout chasery person ever, and his car is insane and shits on so many other cars that are in that, that are vying or attempting to be like that. So, I think I don't think he owns it anymore, apparently.
No, it's in Queensland. I want to see it.
Doesn't matter.
So
Still
bad.
his car, his build. Anyway.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
We would have to rate it from when it he owned it, when it sold, because it's the new person who's owned it has like reverted a few things already. Because of defects.
Really?
Yeah,
so,
the cops up here are no joke.
Pretty sad.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say go from when it was at its prime before it got sold.
In my opinion, it tops the list. Like, honestly,
it does.
Yeah,
I think it's amazing. Even if you don't like stance, you have to appreciate what's going on there.
Yeah, 100%. It's the shaved fuel door for me.
It's a teardrop exhaust, side exhaust for me. Oh, that's right. You want to do that, don't you?
No, he thought I should fucking do that.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, you should do that. Yeah, for sure.
100%. I don't know why you still have it, Josh.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, let me read out the list, and we'll see where it slots in.
Just at the top, mate. I don't know.
Oh, we'll read out like the top, a few, because obviously there's a lot of cars here. But we've got Kane JZX, the Chaser. We've got Ben Ashcroft's Chaser. We've got Adam's RX-7. 32 on HGH, and Jacko's 14, then Peter Cruz, Josh Bokdar. So I'm assuming we're all going to be putting it somewhere up there, because it's quite up our alley. Personally, I think it went backwards a little bit when he put the BRZ front bumper on. That shit was fucking ugly, and I wish I saw it at full setup on the Pan Sports with the big tilt. But what are we rating it on? Are we rating on its peak setup, or are we rating it on its sold setup?
Ooh, that's a good question, because I
would say probably the sold setup, but I personally don't think it went back one bit with the BRZ front bumper.
I do.
It's not enough for me to say that it drops anything. I think it's still mint.
I literally can't put it anywhere but the top. For my style, it's perfect.
Darius, what do you reckon?
If we're basing off sold, I'm saying probably second, to be honest. If it after
yeah, fair enough.
I did prefer the Pan Sports, to be honest. Those wheels were hot, and I did want them, but the BRZ front end was not. I don't like it, to be honest.
Me either. Ads, where do you want to put it?
Oh, definitely behind mine. No, I think it's at the top for me, because I can appreciate that he's not only does it look insane, but he's done all the engine work and everything else as well to boot.
And
even though it probably can't go more than 20 kilometers an hour, but it still looks fucking great. So, so for me, I really appreciate that. Plus, on top of that, he's a super nice dude. So yeah, it's at the top for me.
Yeah, it's hard. If we were rating it on its setup with the big ass front bumper, which he said he hated because the fucking front lip was like a shovel and it was enormous, but if we were rating it on that, I would 100%, without a doubt, it's the first car. I fucking love that car. Everything on it flows perfectly. It looks amazing. Has all the rare bits on it. It's fucking, I don't know. It just ticks all the boxes, man. But oh man, the BRZ front bumper make me want to die. It's so ugly.
Oh.
It's not that
really
ugly,
that bad?
but it's like no. It's just like in comparison to what it used to be.
Right.
Like the car is still.
I really like it flowed better with the 8.6 bar.
Yeah, I agree, and it was just so much more aggressive, that front bumper.
Yeah, the front.
Even if he shaved some of the lip off or did something else, I don't know what, but fuck, man, this thing is just. It could not be topped at that point, and that it was static as well, and it drove around like that, or I don't know, air quotes drive, because I don't know how it really moved, but fuck, man, I love this car. I'm trying to think, if the keys were presented, would I be taking Kane's Chaser or Aiden's 86. Damn, bro.
That's a hard
That's
choice.
the way to look at it, isn't it?
4 doors,
Especially
more halls,
after-
but you're getting.
Yeah,
This thing's
man, I
hot.
don't know. I gotta look. Nah, it's just the front bumper and shit, and it was raised, and it's on the whatever the fuck those are. The
Futuras.
Futuras, is that what it
Yes.
is? Or Koenigs, yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's fucking pretty close.
His mirrors are so.
Put it at the
fuck me.
top.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put it at the top.
Woo!
This thing makes me want to have
There
a
you go.
cage.
I'm glad I brought something good to the list then. Huh?
The king, double A and the king.
But it would be remiss of me if I didn't shout out the Rodrigues. I'm an honorary member of.
Can you?
Alright, cut it here, bro. We don't wanna hear this shit.
No, honestly, I like. It sounds super corny, but it wouldn't be like if I without Zillagram and like Osman, which is Zillagram. Like,
Does he,
I
does
would
he have
not
a
be-
name, or do you guys just call each other
Osman?
by Instagram at?
No, we're just talking third person by Instagram ads.
Yeah,
No, you know, he, I don't know, super random one night, he was like, come shoot photos in the city with me. And I didn't know who the fuck he was. I was like, all right. So we did that. And then we've been really good friends ever since. And he's really kept me tied into the car scene through that with M4 Ruby and OK Buy, etc. So, yeah, it's been good.
Do we want to add
gang.
some cars to the list while Adam's here as well? We can get some.
oh yeah, we're all meant to bring a fucking car.
I've got one. I've got one. I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first while I try and find one.
I would like to suggest a list. OK Buy.
I knew you were gonna, bro, if you didn't do that, I was gonna do it.
Got him.
That was my fault, wasn't it, for mentioning
Got
it?
him.
He's gonna fucking hate me, dude.
Yeah.
Can you just put it at the top, please?
Why? Is he cut because he doesn't think he's gonna be at the top?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. His car's amazing. So, I mean, obviously the color is just personal taste, but if you put that aside, then the car's incredible.
The car is incredible. But yeah, the color.
It's not even that the color's bad. I just don't like it.
The color's hot. It's just not my preference.
Obviously, I'm a fan. Have you seen my MR2? Like,
it's just bright.
he copied me, bro. Like, it's fine.
He saw
Like,
that MR2
back in the day.
He's
yeah,
like, I
know.
need
He
that
wanted
colour.
that candy blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's missing the gold pearl. But, I'll let that slide.
He slept on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the list. It's definitely in the top, like, third of the cars. There's not that many cars on the list, but it's up there.
It's not Stancy at all, so I don't know, but
No, it's not. Personally, for me, it's above Kooky Sean, below Primal 180. Do you want me to send you guys a list in the chat so you can have a look at it?
Yeah. I think
Yes.
I was thinking around there.
Let me send you the list, and I'll send it to you as well as.
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, it's had a lot of work done to it. Like, obviously, it's quick as fuck. The molded wide body and stuff is really nice. It's all perfectly done, you know. It's done to the nth degree. So, you got to hand it to him for that.
I would
Let's have
put
a
it.
look.
It's got all the things. It's, really, I guess, just the color is divisive. But
I would put it above
Yeah, it
Primal.
is literally just the color. Above Primal. Is that what I said?
No, you said it just below Primal.
I've just got a soft spot for 180, so I would rather that. I do think it's a very high quality build, though.
I'd put it.
what would you change about it if you gonna just the color?
Black.
Yeah, black.
Black and
It used to be silver. I
Silver.
think.
I think if it was silver, it would look nice. I don't know. I don't know, man. The blue. It's just blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So was my car, I guess.
I'd
but-
put it above. I'd put it below 32 on GHG. Or-
Above Jacko.
Yeah.
Interesting. And Adam, where would you put it?
I'd put it somewhere around me, I guess, because I think of it as like it's in terms of like the build quality, it's kind of like mine. He's done a lot of stuff to it that's like mine. Yeah, he's done everything like mine. So obviously I'd prefer a black RX-7 over a blue Evo, but like,
what if it was a black Evo?
Then I'd probably put it next to me. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? It's hard.
It's a controversial color, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's really the only thing, and I think it works really well for him and his personality, and like for him. But I think that's really the only thing. It's whether you like the blue or not. So I photoshopped it other colors before. I can send you those if you want to see what it looks like. We were joking about it. I did it in like every color, like white, silver, black. But it does look pretty sick.
I think it can go below 32 on HGH. I think that's a fair spot for it.
Okay, sure.
Okay, bye. Is it Evo 9, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the difference between the fucking 8 and the 9. I'm not going to say because I don't know if it's exactly right, but I know some of the arrows did a bit different, but I think the engine's the same. It's the 7 that no one wants. Yeah, because it's got the boogers end.
Yeah.
I will add... It's hard because it keeps chopping and changing, but I've always loved Akshay's S13.
The S13? Yeah.
Let me send it in the thing again.
What's his at?
I just sent it to you on Instagram.
Dog. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Although it looks kind of
like all the others.
Yeah. I mean, it's alright.
It's clean, well done, but it's nothing.
And it does hit the track?
Yeah. It do hit the track, so you gotta give it track
props
cred.
to that. Props to that. I mean, yeah, it looks cool.
Sends it around the
I mean,
track.
I wouldn't have one myself, but it looks alright.
Especially when it was on the KFs with the tilt into front.
The KFs were very nice, I must say. I don't...
Well, that was the last time I had a set of wheels together on it, was it not?
Pairs.
On it as well.
Bro, people who run pairs should be punishable by execution.
No way, bro. Drift gone.
No.
No excuse.
I'm going to put that above Slats 13. I like the style more than Slats 1.
I would put it below Slats.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Below Slats as well, you think, Darius?
Yep.
And Adlawd?
Well, I don't know. I think... Where did you say? You put it?
Below Slats S13.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, the big man's spoken. That's fine.
Big man.
That's fine.
And Darius, who's your whip of the week, bro?
32 Sia.
32 Sia. Oh, the GDR.
Ooh,
Yes.
very nice.
I like this a lot. However, it's too high.
It is fucked. Yeah,
I think he bagged
it.
Or is it on 17s? That height is fine, but is it not on 17s?
I'm pretty sure it is on 17s, but I'm pretty sure he bagged it. I saw it was on the floor at status. I mean, at World Time Attack.
Yeah, but I don't think it was bagged. I'm pretty sure it was just lowered.
Oh.
Well...
It'd be good if you had more than one photo up, but yes.
Yeah, I know. I really like the car. Like, the car looks fucking great. Especially with, like, the clear... or the smoked indicators and the fucking tinted windshield and the Ganna dogs and whatnot. And the extra lip on the bottom of the GDR lip. But the fucking 17s, bro. Step the dogs up or get different wheels, please. It looks whack, those wheels. It looks like a fucking cartoon car.
Did you send me this one?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, you also need to get shot if you, like, unironically run anything below 18s, I feel like.
Certain cars can pull off 17s, like Silvias and shit, but you have to be fucking low, and this thing could probably pull it off if it was a lot lower, but then you don't want to blow up the GDR stuff on around it because that shit ain't cheap.
Yeah, I feel like it's got the tire stretch when it doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
That's
I
very true,
fucking love it. It looks so good. It's just the wheels are so small.
Yeah, I don't know. It could go media tires and it'd probably fix some of that, and maybe just a little bit more low, and you'd be alright.
It looked tarded with
like
media
why-
tires on those wheels. I reckon you need meat tires and like monoblocks.
I mean, what's wrong with just like having like a flat sidewall with that size wheel? Like,
No, it's just that wheel.
Yeah, no.
3-piece and meat
okay.
looks retarded.
I don't think so.
I reckon it looked good.
Well, Cody, I think you look tired
Okay.
as well. So how about that?
yeah, constructive, Josh.
What is it? The
Constructive.
posture, bro?
Yeah.
Put you in your
Do you hate
place, bro.
cripples, bro?
Nah, I think you're a cute question mark.
Where
Kiss
would
on
we
the
put
lips,
this
question
though?
mark?
Whack. I would put this above Ryan's 34, below Kooky Sean.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I reckon that's yep.
Look at us all go. The things we can do without Caleb here, hey?
I kind of wanted to chat to Caleb though. He's funny as fuck.
He is hilarious.
He's too special ed, bro. Like,
Even though his walkie-talkie sounds like farting through a... Oh, sorry, his mic sounds like a walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie.
So can you edit that so it doesn't sound retarded?
Yeah,
His walkie-talkie sounds like a mic.
do you
I
think
was
so?
like, what do you mean, Mike? I
I'm
thought
tired,
we were
bro,
all
it's
using
alright.
walkie-talkie.
Yeah, that's it, bro. I'm still using my fucking radio. Yeah. Well,
That's it.
Thanks.
boys and
Yeah.
girls.
Well, no, thank you for coming on. It was good to have you.
thanks. Thanks. When he started this, I was like, "You better have me on, or I'll be pissed off."
Oh,
As if you don't want to hang out with me, bro. Like,
No, I don't.
I don't know.
You,
I
you
think
had a
I
gun
was-
to my head.
no,
I was
come
there
on,
since
mate. I
episode
think
1, bro. I was like, when are we getting Adlawd on? He's the GOAT, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was...
Dude, I said to Osman, I was like, I said to Osman, I was like, they better fucking get us on. Special
Well,
guests, bro.
You guys all want to come
Also,
on.
Yeah, no, you know what?
Osman would be
Get
good
the
to
rigs
get
on
on.
for a special edition.
Bro, you can't get Osman on because he'll say so much fucked up shit.
Really?
I know he'll say fucked up shit.
We'll just get him and
I don't
Caleb
know
on in
him
the
that
same
well.
podcast.
Oh, that'd be great. No, Osman's great.
Osman's
He's
a fucking
hilarious,
asshole.
though.
He's a
Yeah, but that's what
fucking
makes
idiot.
Yeah, that sounds
that's why we
sick.
love him, though. But so we all are. What do you mean?
Josh acted like he's not.
Yeah, I know, like-
bro, no, I fucking love Osman, but
Yeah.
he is going to get everybody fucking cancelled because he says some fucking fried shit.
Honestly,
Same
like,
as fucking Ruby, she's also crap.
Adam,
yeah, but you know what? People probably don't realize that, but like, we're probably the biggest shit talkers there are. Like,
Yeah, you are.
but just to ourselves, like, but we,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, we're elitist
Ruby
jerks, but that's alright.
Ruby sometimes was mean online. Also,
She has to be though, and you know what? Credit to Ruby.
bring back Osman's fucking mean captions.
You know what? Credit to Ruby. Yeah, those are good. But credit to Ruby. She deals with a lot of dickheads. You know, as a girl in the car scene, and the way she handles them is fucking exemplary, dude. Like, I love reading the shit
But
that she posts when she just fucks guys
The
up.
crazy
so
thing
good.
is that I
love
did
it.
see a
I love
car
it.
just like hers driving yesterday down the road. That was pretty crazy. I had to let her know.
Yeah.
Had to give her a quick
Yeah,
message.
when she gets
just
that
saying,
DM of
just saying,
it's like, oh my god, I saw an M4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love BMWs. Fucking simps. Yeah.
Adam, can you explain to me what Ride Rigs
Yeah.
is?
Oh, it's really just because I think they're all from that area, right? And that's how they all know each other.
Right.
But it's not even like a car group or anything. It's literally a group chat with those guys in it, and we just talk shit all day long. basically.
right.
So, you know, I'm an honorary member of it, which is really
okay.
nice because obviously I don't live anywhere near them. But
Yep.
yeah, so you know, it's just it's a bit of a meme group, I suppose.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, they it's good. I mean, they got some of the nicest cars in Sydney, and we have, you know, we go on drives and, you know, talk shit and eat chicken, and yeah, it's good. I like it. So it's nice to be part of that. But
when Churcher.
no, well, dude, Churchill
Been a
closed.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, they got shut down. I don't think they survived after COVID. So we've got to find a new chicken place.
Yeah, let me know. I'm
There's
hungry.
one near
I'm
Josh's
doing,
house. I forget the name of it.
everyone.
but everyone goes
Frango's.
there.
Frangos.
We went there today.
Yeah, we were at that Frangos today for the lunch.
Hell
though.
yeah.
I also go every time I come see Josh.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's good, so I can understand.
Yeah.
It is pretty good.
Definitely don't go anywhere to get a manicure, eh, Darius? Not with those fingernails, buddy.
No, I'd love to scratch your back, bro.
Nah, you'd rip my fucking skin.
Yeah.
Shout out to Josh as well, though. You're my little guy. You know, I've known you since you were a little kid, man. Like, I feel like
Adam is my dad. Adam is my dad.
Jason's your dad. I'm like your uncle, or something. You know what I mean? Your creepy uncle.
Creepy uncle. Yeah, creepy Uncle Lester.
But like I've seen like Josh came to work with us, and he was just a fucking kid. You know what I mean? And now look at you.
Little pipsqueak.
Ugly.
Just a kid.
Yeah.
Just a kid.
Nah, it's you've come a really long way as well from when we first started working together, and it's been really cool to see, especially like watching your photography and stuff, you know, grow from where it was to where it is now, and like your creativity. I think, you know, a lot of people can take photos, but you know, you've got a really good eye for things, and I think everyone knows that. So
thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot.
Everybody's
always mean to me, so it's nice to hear something nice.
No, I really enjoy working with you, and it's always cool to see all the stuff that you're coming up with, and it's fun to work together on all the things that we do.
It is.
So
It is. Dream team, Adlawd, dream team.
I mean, what more could you want? Making cool shit to do with cars, like it's good fun. We have fun. We have fun.
Did you want me to send you the money for that via BSB or cash?
Yeah. No, but I'm expecting.
That was my make-a-wish, bro.
I'll be expecting
nice
kickbacks from everybody, from Lowdown and Gloss Lab and Chris Somerville. I know he's got money. He's got a couple of GDRs. So.
He got money. Boy, he got coin.
Yeah, that's it. But no, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. It's been fun.
That was cool.
Thanks, Adlawd. I'll see you on Thursday, my man.
Yeah.
Tally-ho.
Instigators out. Boom.
Tally-ho, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
The Instigators.